So the Hasbro Marvel Legends Beyond Amazing Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years program is continuing on here with this Future Foundation Spider-Man, aka the Stealth Suit. This is another release in this windowless packaging. You can see the seal here celebrating the 60 amazing years, 60th anniversary of Spidey. Here's the backside, no more read-ups, but we do get an image of the figure and an image of what it comes with, which just seems like it's a couple of hands and some web slinging effects there. So there's the box, there's the side. You can order this through the link down below if you're interested. So I'm going to be honest, this is my least anticipated figure from the 60th anniversary Beyond Amazing program that Hasbro's doing for Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And it definitely proved so, because I don't know, it's not something I'm super crazy about, and now seeing it in hand, I'm really not super crazy about it even more. Um, that First and foremost, the leg is a little warped coming out of that cardboard from inside the box, so that kind of sucks. And then also, just a little disappointed in the paint apps on this figure. So this figure is on a good body mold though. It's on the retro vintage Spider-Man mold, the one we all know and love. Might be getting overlooked now because of the new pinless version of that body mold on the Spinneret 2-pack. So this is indeed pinned. With that being said, I think the Hasbro team already answered that question. Somebody had already asked, why isn't this on a pinless body? Why are they promoting this new pinless Spidey in the Spinneret 2-pack and then releasing this Spider-Man in a pinned body? And I think the way they answered that was that by the time the Spinneret and Spidey 2-packs started being made, this was already made, so they had already produced this figure with this older body, and by the time that new one, the new pinless body came out, then it was a little too late for this figure, so that's why I didn't get that treatment. With that being said though, a lot of people were hoping for a Future Foundation Spidey that was white instead of black. I mean, this is white and black, but it's mostly black, so it's kind of inverted here, and people were looking forward to the white version of Future Foundation. So my guess, my educated toy collecting guess, would be that we will get that version on the pinless body since it's not made yet. Whoops, and this one's already made, so I can see plenty of Spider-Mans, to come, especially since we're still getting new body molds made for Spidey. But anyways, let's continue on with this figure right here. You can see how he comes out of the box with a right fist and a left thwipping web slinging hand right there. So that means he's gonna get the other side of the same poses. So we get the right web slinging, and then we get the left fist right there. And then his only other accessory is the web effects here, which I can only imagine these are the web effects that the 3-pack, the No Way Home 3-pack, will have. They did mention that those Spider-Mans are gonna have web effects, and I'm only, I can only bet it's gonna be these right here. I To be honest with you, I don't care for these too much. I know I think I would prefer maybe bendy wire versions of these, but I mean, it's cool. It's definitely cool to use in displays, but personally for me, I don't really care too much about these right here. I would have preferred some other accessory. But with that said, that's everything that this thing comes with, and that leads me to mention the price tag is $33.99, and I just don't feel that this figure is justifying that price at all, and a main reason goes to the paint apps. I feel like if we're paying $34 for this figure plus tax, that this thing should be premium stuff. This should be on the level of the 20th anniversary Toy Biz retro carded figures. Those figures have some of the best paint apps, hands down, that Hasbro's ever produced on an action figure under Marvel Legends line. And I thought that with the price hikes, we were gonna get that type of quality of paint, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty okay with this because this is some premium stuff coming from a domestic line. But seeing this figure in hand and knowing what I paid, $35, and seeing the QC issues and the sloppiness of this, it really disappointed me. So let's take a closer look. Alright, so of course, keep in mind that paint apps always vary figure to figure, and not every figure is 100% the same, but for the most part, if a figure has more than one QC issue or more than one paint app issue, then it's pretty safe to say that most of them are going to come with that. most of the times when the majority of the figures don't have that said issue, it's only when you only spot maybe one little nick right there or one little paint bleed over here, and that's it. Something very isolated. But when it's something that's all over the figure, then it might be an issue across the board. So here we can see some white on the black. Down here you can kind of see some weirdness going on. It seems like this was missing a coat of white, and we have like a darker white by the hinge here, or by the rocker I should say. Up around the rib cage you can see here some weird stuff going on. I don't know if that's paint chip or what. Here's the other side of the rib cage, kind of spotty. Here are the inside of the arms, which actually look pretty decent. I don't see any issues here. Of course, something that's very blaring here are the big pins, so we get the black pins on the white. So yeah, that's where the pinless stuff comes into effect right here, is with this. But honestly, with the white and black, it almost looks like it's part of the suit. But going down to the hand, this one could have used a few more coats of paint there. It's kind of messy around that hinge there, so it looks like it was like airbrushed or something, but it's a little spotty. So far it's nothing major. I think maybe the most major thing I see is the paint chipping on the ribs there right out of the box. That's really unfortunate. And if you look at the spider, there's a few nicks like right there, and some spotty stuff there. It's not the cleanest line work, and we know that Hasbro can do clean line work on figures. We've seen it done numerous times before. So I don't know. I don't know what happened with this Spidey. I don't know if his white is harder to do on black, but this Spider-Man is a little sloppy for my liking. Here's another spot on the black there. When it's two very drastic different colors like white and black, the line work has to be perfect, or else this is going to be very noticeable stuff for sure. There's also another nick right here on the front of the thigh, so you can see like almost like a paint chip. So far, I mean, it's very small stuff, which would be cool if this was a $20 figure. I'd be like, okay, I can see it. But if we're paying $15 more on top of the $20, then I expect something a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more pristine, a little bit more premium, similar to that 20th anniversary retro carded Legends. That's what I was expecting for the premium price tag that we're paying for these guys. But I will say that I did take a look at the Spider-Man Spinneret 2-pack, and I did take a look at the Iron Spider. Both of them are from the 60 years of Spider-Man kind of line of legends that have been coming out and that this figure is part of. And those are pretty clean. Those really don't have any issues with paint. This is really the first one, or the one off so far within this batch of figures. Alright, so this figure is, as I mentioned, on the retro Spidey body mold. So it's the same articulation that we've seen before. So if you're familiar with that, or if you own that figure, then you know what to expect here. If you also have the retro carded black symbiote Spidey, it is the same body mold as well. So all of the same articulation points. Of course, there is no toe hinge. This isn't the Spinneret 2-pack body mold. So just want to throw that out there. Really no need to go through the articulation. Really nothing new here, but I will say that they did paint within the articulation pretty well, surprisingly. Given the noticeable QC issues, there really isn't anything too crazy within the butterfly joints. Like you would think there'd be paint rub right there, and there's not. It's actually the cleanest area of the figure, which is pretty nuts. But yeah, butterfly joints, bicep swivels, double jointed joints, up and down, everything that we know and love from that retro credit Spidey is all here. What is not here is the gap on the back of the neck here. So if I pop the head out, we don't get that gap there. It's not a barbell peg like that Spidey. So if anything, I guess it's not 100% the same. The torso is a little different. And now that I pop the head off, there's another white paint on the neck that was kind of hidden underneath the head there. So yikes, but at least it's hidden. So yeah, retro carded Spidey with a slight different torso piece there. So we get the hinge, the ball jointed hinge, instead of that barbell peg with that little gap space on the back of the neck there. Alright, so here we have him next to the black symbiote Spidey, and this is on, again, the retro carded vintage Spider-Man body mold, which I'll bring in right here. And the main difference in the torso is that the retro carded versions had the dual torso articulation with the diaphragm joint and the ab crunch on the lower end there, while this one just has the ab crunch, no diaphragm joint, but we do get the waist swivel on this figure, while we don't get a waist swivel on these two over here. And also, of course, worth mentioning is that we do get the peg hole on the back of this figure, while these did not have peg holes on the back either. And while we're here, I guess it's also worth showing that even my black symbiote had some spotty paint issues as well. So even here it wasn't the cleanest, but it's a little bit cleaner on the front end. Of course, as I mentioned, this will vary figure to figure. Looking at the line work though on the red and blue version, this is some of the cleanest work I've ever seen. This is all painted on there or printed on there, or however you may want to describe it. This one's a little bit better, of course. It's not without its faults. There's a paint chip right there on the back end there. But overall, with all this little small intricate line work, it's pretty darn clean. So we know it's possible. We know they can do it. Whether it's painting or printing or whatever, it's paint nonetheless. Alright, and now getting the Webman Spidey next to him, you can see that now these two for sure share the same body mold, same torso and all. Got the peg hole in the back there as well, and even some of the same spotty paint quality control issues on this one, looking at it as well, unfortunately. But these were $20, I think. I don't think these were more than that, maybe $22.99, I want to say. This is $35, so kind of a big difference. And then here he is next to the Negative Zone Pizza Spider-Man Target exclusive, just because they kind of share the same, color scheme here. I figured I'd compare these two, but this is again just a repaint of that original Pizza Spidey body mold that once held the throne, no longer. It's been a while. So that was your quick look at the new Stealth Suit Future Foundation Spider-Man figure from Marvel Legends. Overall, it's definitely not worth $35, $33, $32, whatever. It's not worth over $30. If anything, wait for clearance, wait for a price drop. But I could definitely see a all-white Future Foundation Spidey in the future with pinless, articulation points. Actually, the last time we ever got the Future Foundation was in the Arnim Zola Series 2 of Return of Marvel Legends back in 2012. So that was quite a long time ago. And actually, I have that figure, but I have it sealed. I have the entire Return of Marvel Legends sealed, mint on card, hung on my wall. So I'm actually missing a lot of those figures loose, but I do have them sealed. And that's one of them. So it is a gap in the loose collection. So that'd be a great release for them, for Hasbro to release with the new pinless body. For this kind of Beyond Amazing, or just we're gonna get Spider-Man figures even after the 60th anniversary. It's Spider-Man. So, but yeah, in regards to this figure, unless you're a big giant Spider-Man fan, I can see you picking this figure up. But if you're not, or maybe if you're a completionist, then yeah, I guess that this one makes you a completionist. But if you're not any of those things, then I don't think you really need this guy. I really would have been okay with this if the paint was a little bit more pristine, was a little bit more premium, if I felt like I was getting a quality product, and I just don't feel that way when I see so many, messy paint QC spotty areas around the figure. So unfortunately, I just can't really recommend it at the price that it retails for. Let me know your thoughts down below, and while you're down there, hit the like button and also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. As always, guys, take care, take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.